see that at least everything at home here is working. Let me know. Is this better? We are now in a different stream setup and a different thing. So I can see that some people need to reconnect to this live stream instead of the previous one. And hopefully that will help. I have no idea what happens, by the way. But as I was saying, for setting up these sections, it's very annoying to do that directly in Elementor. And that's why I'm using WP Codebox. It not only allows you to add CSS, also HTML or JavaScript, and you can turn things on and off. And I think the most amazing thing that they have right now is they can also export everything to a plugin. It's like having best of both worlds. If you want to use only for snippets, then you can use it only for snippets. And if you then think, right, we have done enough during development and everything is set up and done, then you can turn it into snippets. Remove WP Codebox so they can't break something, and then it's still running and everything is still in there, and your people working with the website don't destroy the website itself. WP Codebox is the sponsor also for this live stream and the previous one as well. So thank you very much, WP Codebox, for sponsoring this live stream. And let's get back to our to the rest of the building. Because now we have an initial setup for the what's called for the card, and we want to create hello little brother, and we want to create a card out of this. We want to create a component out of this. Well, what we can do is press right click, and then we have create a component option. So we click right there, and now we need to add some things in here because we want this heading to be able to have another text. So the way you set it up is by, in the component editor, add a text. And we want another text for this one, so we will add another text. And for the background, we want to add an image. Now, I don't know if I can directly copy and paste the image right into CSS, but that's something that we can try out and see for ourselves, right? If it doesn't work, then we can just refactor it to do it in a different way. So we start here with a heading. Then we will add some text. And then we will add an image. Background image. And it's called like that. Imager image. So now we have to target things. So we can press this one and then select where the properties should be set. So that should be like this. And I don't know if it does accept me pressing the card and then the background image. It doesn't. So what we could do is do the old-fashioned way, because I don't know how to do it better. So if anybody sees this and thinks by themselves, let's do it differently, I know what a better way to do this, then let me know. What I do for now is go like this, background image, URL, and this should be then the background image props. So we can do it like this. No, we can't. Props dot background image, and by default it will be a random lorem ipsum image. And it looks like it is working. Only thing is that it uses a different hover image. So what we can do, can we use a data attribute for this and then fetch the image directly from there? There was something released. I can't remember. We'll figure out another time. I just want to continue on creating this this component. So now we have created the design. We have created the properties that we want the component to have. Then we can hit save. And now if we exit the properties, it should work. So let's see. We can now click on this section and say hello. Look at that. Awesome. We created our first card. Some random text. And this can be the same. And now what we can do is just easily duplicate this. And we can give it different names. So if we want to change the name of the middle one, subscribe. If you didn't already, please do so. Please do so. And thank you, WP Codebox, for sponsoring. It's really kind of them to reach out and sponsor the video. I really love their tool, the WP Codebox. It works really well also with what's it called? Advanced Themer, and that's also something that I want to look into in the future. Now that we have our 3 cards, we can make changes to the grid as well, because I think they are a little bit too close together. So we can give it a gap of space L. That should be fine. Grid 2 should be set as grid 2. My nose is itching. And then we duplicate it again, and now we have 3 components. We can say sub and save it. Yeah, I use duplicate all my websites. Nice. It's such an amazing tool. I really love it. I didn't know I used code snippets before, but I didn't know that WP Codebox had an easy way to what's called make a plugin out of all the codes that you're ever using. So I hope that I can introduce it at work as well, because it's pretty easy. I just saw my finger right away. Hello world. It's keep coming back. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. Oh, sorry. Losing a little bit of concentration. I guess we're streaming long enough. It's what happens at times. Let's see. All right, we have our cards right here. I'm wondering, because there are Lipsum cards. Look at the blur gradient, by the way. It's also a very bad image. So maybe we should pick a different image size. So what we can do is open up this one, edit, and then pick 300 by 400 to have the same aspect ratio, or maybe 600 by 800. Look at that, it gets a little bit sharper. Or 7 by 900. That looks better, right? I guess. And then we can hit save again and exit. And there we have our components. So that's a really easy way to get components and to get a nice blur. It looks like it's part of the image, right? That's really awesome, actually. All right. What I want to do now is make this column move upwards. How do we do that? So it's every second child. Do we do that in cards? And say something like n. Oops. I don't know. We can ask Gemini. In a grid, I want the every second cards to move upwards an X amount of position using transform. I guess that's the best one. This is semi-vibe coding, right? I'm a vibe coder, boys! Yay! And girls, if you're watching, by the way. How it works. All right, where's the code? Even, nth child even. Did you know that you can just write this directly in CSS and that you don't have to add transform in there anymore? I didn't know that. I saw a syntax podcast today where they said that, and I was like, I didn't know that. So we can do it like this, or at least it should work. But it doesn't. Or does it only work? Ah, I see. So translate. And is it then dash Y? X? Nope. It does work like this. So now it's 0 for left and right and -25 for top and bottom. But it says even. And if I say odd, it doesn't do for any. If I to N, it does it for all of them. How do we get only the second card to move upwards just ever so slightly? +2, +1. I don't know. There should be something that... fixed it. Look at that. We can move that one upwards. And instead of 1 rem, space M, minus space M. Does that work? Nope. So we can also move the first row upwards, like this. 2, or 2, and then 1. Yep. Look at that. We're doing something awesome. And this should be card. Dot card. Because this only should be done on the card itself. And then this needs to be translated upwards as well, the card itself. So we know that we can just write translate and then have 0 and then -1. Damn. Hey, I lost my complete what? Where did my say CSS go? Translate. My CSS suddenly gone. And I have a background that I didn't want to set up. Darn it. So we start over again, right? Grid, template, grid. This template columns. Grid 1, 2. This should be a display grid, of course. Display grid. Grid area. So we need to position this first. Grid area 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, -1, -1. There we go. 3. Yeah, this is it. And then a gap of space L. Now we have our gaps back. I really don't know what happened, but suddenly a lot of things got removed. It's fine, we can fix it. Display. And then what should we do next? It's our... Oh, we don't need our hover effects for this one. Yeah, that was already fixed. What we do need is to have our dot card and then the nth child dash child of 2n plus 1. What we want to happen is to have a translate of 0 minus 25 pixels. That can be done just on the second row. That's fine. So for every second card, it will move it upwards 25 pixels. Maybe we should keep it in RAM. Minus, that will be 2 RAM. And then for our complete section, we also want to move it up 2 RAM. Minus 2 RAM. A little bit too much. So we can just set it a little. And there we go. We have a nice little section using our components, and these can be iterated on using a loop. Loopity-loop. But it is something that we can set up for next time, because then we can dive into our loop manager. Ooh, that looks awesome. Oh, we see our output as well. Oh, that's nice. With all the custom fields. Ooh, I wonder what they did to get this working. That's awesome. I got distracted because of what I wanted to show is the content hub. That's something that we can dive in next week. So, if you like this until now and want to see me struggle with setting up the first time around, then you can watch this video next. And if you want to see me getting more into Etch using the content hub and then exploring more of this, then join me next week as we create a custom post type to iterate on the components that we just made and see where we can go from there. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you, Dave and Little Brother and Jonathan and Jimmy, for joining today and being active in the chats. I hope this was helpful for you and that you learned a little bit. And as always, keep designing. Let's turn off. It's the knob is there. Knob, your knob.